Welcome back to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Today we're taking a deep dive into something we all do, but maybe don't think about the words for shopping. Our source material is actually quite fascinating. It's a guide, basically, designed to teach essential English shopping vocabulary, just 25 words. But our mission isn't just to list them. We want to unpack why these specific 25 are seen as essential. What does their selection, how they're grouped, what does that tell us about shopping itself? About consumer psychology, maybe even culture. It's like a linguistic key to commerce.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, I think, is that structure you mentioned, this specific list, just 25 words, it gives this incredibly clear, almost systematic overview of the whole shopping journey. It really does. From where you shop to, the items, the actions, paying, even how we talk about what we want. So the guide isn't just teaching vocabulary in isolation. It's implicitly teaching the mechanics of how shopping works. It's like a blueprint.
The mechanics. Through the lexicon. I like that. Okay, so let's jump right in then. The source starts by grouping words into types of shops and places. And these aren't random. First up, the big one. Supermarket. Everyone knows what it is. But why is it essential number one? What does that signal?
Well, that's a great question. The supermarket, it's not just a store, is it? It's kind of a symbol of efficiency, maybe. Consolidation. Getting everything food, household stuff all in one go. Its prominence on the list points to a society that really values convenience, variety, and often, predictable pricing. For someone learning the language, getting supermarket down is like understanding the basics of mass market buying. It's dominant.
Right, the default almost. And then right after the guide brings in the grocery store. It seems similar, but the distinction must be important if it's also essential. What's the nuance here?
That pairing immediately sets up a key difference in retail scale, doesn't it? You've got the big do-it-all supermarket versus the smaller, maybe more local, possibly quicker grocery store. So a learner gets that it's not just two words for the same thing. They're learning about different shopping trips, different expectations, maybe a corner shop versus a huge hypermarket.
Okay, so that covers the necessity-driven places. But what about other kinds of shopping? The guide includes the mall. What role does the mall play in this essential lexicon?
Ah, the mall. That brings in the idea of shopping as, well, an event, as leisure. It's not just about grabbing groceries. It's about variety, maybe food courts, entertainment, all bundled together.
I'm contrasted with that. The guide also lists boutique. Very different feel.
Exactly. The boutique represents the other end, doesn't it? Highly specialized, curated, often fashion, unique items. It's about a specific aesthetic, maybe a more personal experience. So you have mass entertainment versus niche appeal side by side in the essentials.
And the final one in this category, which feels absolutely critical now, the online store. Simple definition, a website where you buy things, but huge implications. Its essential status says a lot, right?
Oh, absolutely. Including online store just confirms the massive shift to e-commerce. Physical place, opening hours suddenly irrelevant. It completes the picture, moving from physical necessity to physical leisure to the purely digital space. So those 5, supermarket, grocery, mall, boutique, online store, they really map out the whole modern retail landscape. Understanding the difference helps you know what kind of experience to expect. The scale, the products, the vibe, everything. It's foundational.
It really is a map. Okay, fascinating. Let's shift gears now. What happens inside these places? The next section in our source is items and shopping actions. This gets into the actual doing of shopping. Starts with the absolute basics, price, and right alongside it, discount. Now, putting those two together, it's not just about math, is it? There's psychology there.
Oh, definitely. Price sets the baseline, our idea of value. But discount, that immediately plays with our perception. It makes us feel like we're getting a deal, like we're smart shoppers, It's that feeling of a win. Retailers know this, of course. That's why you see it was $50, now $30. It amplifies that sense of gain, language shaping perceived value.
That's a really sharp point. Okay, related to this, we have bargain. The example was about negotiating in a market. And then sale, like a specific period of lower prices. How does bargain fit in with discount and sale? They feel different.
They are crucially different. Discount and sale are usually top-down, set by the seller. Bargain, though, implies interaction, negotiation, the buyer trying to influence the price. Its inclusion is interesting because bargaining isn't standard everywhere, like in many Western shops with fixed prices. So the guide signals that negotiation is another possible mechanic of shopping you might encounter. These words together cover how we figure out the cost from the tag to a sale to actually haggling.
Right, understanding the different ways price can be flexible or not. Okay, so you figured out the price, maybe got a deal. Now you need to gather your items. Cart basket. Simple tools, but what do they represent in this process?
They're the physical act of choosing, aren't they, before you've actually paid. It's a signal of intent. Moving from just looking to actually selecting. It marks that transition.
And then, the person who finalizes it all, the cashier. What's the function there beyond just taking money?
The cashier is sort of the human checkpoint for the transaction, right? The face of the exchange.
Mm-hmm. And after the exchange, you get the receipt. The guide notes, keep the receipt in case you need to return it. That, in case, is doing a lot of work.
It really is. The receipt isn't just proof you paid. It's your key, potentially, to fixing things later. It enables consumer rights.
Which leads perfectly into the next two, refund and exchange. Why are these considered essential? Seems obvious, but maybe not.
Well, this raises an important point, doesn't it? Including refund and exchange highlights that the transaction isn't always final at the point of sale. These words codify your right to recourse if something's wrong size, faulty product, whatever. They build trust in the system. They offer security.
Security and confidence. Got it. And one more practical term, especially for clothes. Fitting room. The fitting room is at the back.
Yeah.
Simple, but solves a huge problem, particularly compared to online.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the hassle of online returns for clothes. The fitting room is where you mitigate that risk before you buy. It's that crucial step of physical verification. It empowers you to make a better choice before committing your money. These terms really define the whole after-selection process, the rights and practical steps.
Yeah, it rounds out that whole interaction beautifully. Okay, so we've selected, maybe tried on, dealt with a cashier. Now, the core moment, payment. The next section is payments and money. How do we actually hand over the value? First up, cash. Seems basic, but in our digital age, why is cash still essential vocabulary?
That's a good point. Cash represents that immediate, tangible, often untraceable exchange of value, including it acknowledges that digital isn't universal. There's preference, there's access issues, there's privacy. It's a different way of relating to money, still very relevant globally and for certain kinds of purchases. It's fundamental.
A different financial philosophy, almost, than the cards, credit card and debit card. They sound similar, but the guide separates them. Why is that distinction vital?
Well, here the distinction is purely financial, but it's huge. Debit card. You're spending your own money right now from your account. Direct link. Credit card. You're borrowing. The bank pays and you owe the bank. It's debt, essentially. Understanding that different spending versus borrowing is absolutely critical for personal finance. They're fundamentally different tools.
Absolutely critical. And to carry these and cash, we have the wallet. He keeps his wallet in his pocket. Simple but symbolic.
Yeah, the wallet is just that universal little hub for your payment methods, isn't it? Your personal readiness kit for commerce.
Right. And one more payment term. Installment. I bought the phone in 3 installments. This opens up bigger purchases.
Exactly. Installment brings in the idea of spreading payments over time. It makes more expensive items accessible. It's about managing cash flow for larger purchases. So these 5 terms, cash, credit, debit, wallet, installment, cover the main ways we physically or digitally complete the transaction and the tools we use. Understanding the implications of each is key.
Gives you the power to choose wisely. Okay, final section, describing products. This is where we talk about what we're buying. Here's where it gets really interesting, evaluating the goods. The guide starts with brand. Nike is my favorite shoe brand. Instantly brings in reputation, identity.
Brand is such a loaded term, isn't it? It's a shortcut. It can imply quality, style, status, sometimes a whole lifestyle, all in one word. Hugely powerful in consumer choice.
Definitely. When we get practical, size. I need this t-shirts in size medium. Pure function.
Pure function, but absolutely essential for so many goods, especially clothing, shoes. It's about fit.
And then quality. How good or bad something is. This feels more subjective, maybe.
It can be subjective, but it's also often tied to materials, construction, durability. It's a core part of assessing value for money.
So size is about fit, quality is about make. How do they work with brand?
Well, you use them together, right? You might say, this brand usually has good quality, but I need to find the right size. They help you articulate exactly what you're looking for and evaluate what you find. They move it beyond just buying something to buying the right thing.
Right, expressing specific needs and judgments.
Okay.
And rounding this out, 2 key evaluative words, affordable and expensive.
The classic price spectrum evaluators. Affordable, not too pricey, good value, maybe expensive, costs a lot. And the source cleverly shows how they combine with the others, like a luxury watch, you'd say. Expensive, high quality, famous brand.
Right, versus A basic t-shirt. Affordable, maybe medium size, quality, perhaps not the best.
Exactly. It shows how these descriptive words cluster together to paint a quick picture of a product's market position and likely appeal. They're the language of value judgment.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what does this mean? We've walked through these 25 words grouped by places, actions, payment, description. It strikes me that this isn't just a random list. It's like a surprisingly complete toolkit, a linguistic system for navigating almost any shopping situation.
It really is elegant, isn't it? How this curated list, broken down by theme, manages to cover such a complex activity. It shows how language provides the structure for our interactions. These words aren't just labels. They are the concepts we use to understand and engage with the whole system of buying and selling. It's the architecture of commerce in vocabulary form.
A powerful way to look at it. And on that note, our deep dive into the shopping lexicon wraps up. Thanks for joining us and exploring these words.
Yeah, this was fun. And maybe one final thought for you to chew on. How might this list change in different places? Is bargain more essential in a bizarre economy than discount? Does installment become more crucial in developing economies? And thinking bigger, if you can see the underlying structure in this essential vocabulary places, actions, tools, descriptions, could that help you decode the essential terms in other fields faster, like understanding the structure of medical terms or legal language?
That's a really interesting angle, something to definitely think about.
Yeah.
So next time you're shopping, maybe pay a little closer attention to these words in action. You'll see how they structure the whole experience. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.